Don't do it now. Awesome. It's so good to see everyone. Kitty, it's great to see you.
Same. Happy to be here. I have to hop off at 10:30, but I figured I'd stop by while I can.
Yeah. Where are you at again? You must be in like the Midwest.
I'm in Mexico City, actually, so I'm
Oh,
down south. Yeah. But I
awesome.
was in Michigan last month, so Midwest and now in Mexico.
Okay. Is that close, Andrea? Is that close to where you're at, Mexico City? Because you're in Mexico.
It's it's like an hour flight
Where are you, Andrea?
in Puerto Escondido.
Yes. Oh, so nice.
Y'all, we just got this fancy coffee maker. I'm drinking an espresso. I feel like such a bougie ass bitch.
Which one did you get? That's like my 2026 wish list item is like a nice coffee machine.
Yeah, we got the Ninja. A
Uh-huh.
Ninja coffee. I don't know. It was on like Cyber Monday mega sale. So that was
Oh,
our green light.
oh, good.
Yeah, we retired the old Keurig.
Good for you.
But I made this espresso and it's kind of strong. Like I'm kind of like missing that watered down Keurig. Like I need to kind of adjust and get used to it for sure. Oh, it's so good to see everyone. Hey, Iris. Let's go ahead and drop in the chat. Like where are we coming in from? I'm curious where everybody's coming in from. That's like so fun just to see where everybody's at. Hey, Jess. Jess is in South Africa. Yeah, where's everyone coming in from? And I would also love if you would put it in the chat, your profile lines. I'm a 4-6. I know we've got, hey, Caitlin. I know we've got a few 4-6s in the house. So yeah, let's drop in the chat where we're coming in from, your profile, maybe like your incarnation cross if you want, if you have that information. Just because like it's just so fun to connect with other reflectors who like you have something in common with. Although we all have something in common, right? But it's just fun to see the 4-6s, the 3-5s, if that's what your profile line is. And also maybe put in the chat, like I'd love to know how you're feeling this last full moon of the year. Like, are you feeling grounded? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling like light? This is a full moon in Gemini, which is kind of light and playful and airy, right? It's an air sign. So how are you feeling? I would love to know. Holly said she's feeling clear. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty clear too, which is nice because that's not how I'm feeling for every full moon for sure. Kitty said I'm feeling better than I have all year. Yay! I love that. As a Gemini rising, like I really do. I love this energy. And I'd also like to encourage everyone in here that like if you walk away with one thing today, let it be a new friend, like a new connection. That is literally the purpose of these meetups. Like yes, we learn a little bit about the energy we're in. We'll do like a meditation or a workshop and of course we'll hear our fabulous speakers, but like the real reason we do these is to come together and to like connect and share stories and really just like to see each other. And I don't know who else relates to this. I say this every meeting. So this might be a little redundant if you've been on a couple of these, but like I have been a space holder for people my entire life. I kind of like joke and say that I'm my parents' emotional support animal. Like I've always been the one who's had it together and who people come to and just like trauma dump onto, right? And very rarely, like, yeah, I think that ha it has to be a reflector thing, Kitty. Every reflector I talk to has felt this way. And I just feel like very rarely like can someone meet me in the depths that I'm able to like meet them. And actually that's why I created this space was because like I needed it. Every time I would talk to a reflector, I'd be like, "Oh my God, like that was like medicine. I got to feel my own medicine like reflected back to me." And I'd love to know like who else feels that way if you feel like nobody ever really sees you the way that you see them. And I also want to say like in this space that gets to change because there's just like something about gathering with other reflectors. It's like suddenly we're not too sensitive, like we're not inconsistent, we're not crazy. yeah, for me, like just being in the company of reflectors kind of feels like home. And it allows me to come home to myself because I see that I'm not alone and we all have so much in common. And if you've come to any of these full moon meetups or you're in our like small group mastermind for entrepreneurial reflectors, you get it. But if this is your first time gathering with other reflectors, I'm so happy you're here and I'm so excited for you and for what you're about to feel like after, during, and after today. So yeah, drop your information in the chat. Maybe drop in your Instagram handle so your sisters can connect and support you. And I'm actually also really curious. I wanted to ask this. I put this in my notes so that I didn't forget. Did anyone in here have a word for 2025? Like, you know how everyone picks a word, at like the beginning of the year or at the end of the previous year, you pick a word that like you want to embody. I would love to know what your word for 2025 was. I would love to know. Drop it in the chat. Mine was visibility, devotion. I love that, Alexis. That is beautiful. Yeah. Mine was visibility. So, like, really allowing myself to be seen in relationships and on social media. And honestly, when I picked the word visibility, I wasn't really thinking of it this way, but like, if I were to boil it down, I would say like even really seeing myself more fully and clearly. Like that's the word visibility has kind of like shifted and evolved as the year has gone on. And like really stepping into that main character energy and like just seeing how strong and resilient I am. Like even as I continue to heal and soften and like open my heart and I realize like I'm so imperfect and that's actually like the best part about me is how type B I am. And I've never really like seen myself in that way. And being amongst like other reflectors has really given me the permission slip like to do that. And so I want to thank everybody here like for being in this little cosmic corner of the internet because together we're so powerful. And like the best analogy I can make that's coming to mind right now is like being a part of this community, it kind of feels like we're all like going into battle together and that we're on the battlefield. And I have 100 other like warrior queens behind me who have my back and see me and love me and believe in me. Like that's just what it feels like to me. So I just wanted to share that. Kitty said, I love that, Christine. I'm going to take that for 2026 visibility. I love that. Yes. Alexis said, I'm still waking up around full moons. I find myself up so late, like 3 a.m. Yes, I'm taking this call in bed. I love it. Do any other reflectors feel more awake and alive around the full moons? I love full moon energy. I was actually born on the full moon. And I've like bled on the full moon my entire life as long as I can remember. So I love full moons. I know that it's not that way necessarily for everyone. It can be a lot, but I definitely feel like at home in this energy. But so anyway, before we jump into our fabulous speakers today, because I'm speaking fast. I'm trying to get through all of this because I want as much time as possible for our wonderful ladies who are sharing today. But yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody who's here and everyone who is speaking and everyone who's watching the replay and everyone who couldn't make it. Like this year has been incredible and it definitely wasn't without, some really challenging times, but I can honestly say I've lived out my word for this year and everyone in here made that possible. So, yeah, before we get started, I wanted to invite you to join us for the first moon cycle of 2026 because we're carrying that visibility into the new year with a 28-day moon-coded social media challenge for reflectors who also want to yeah, just like lean into deeper visibility for their impact and their businesses and to for themselves, like to see themselves and attract the abundance that is waiting for them, like on the other side of being visible. And like this challenge isn't just about posting content and growing our audience, but like the real philosophy and why behind it is just about facing the wounds like that inevitably show up when we're seen and we're perceived by others, which will always happen. We're always being perceived by others. And at least for me, I can speak personally, but I know just other conversations I've had in here, like many of us were conditioned to stay small because it's safer, right? And so like sharing our truth, not only on social media, like, but in general, will always bring up resistance and sort of like allow us to meet the edges of our identity, if you will. But for reflectors, like that's how we grow, right? Is when we allow ourselves to be seen and when we're able to meet that resistance and those wounds with like self-love and gratitude and faith. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today, about those wounds that this full moon is bringing up in us. So yeah, the lunar signal, the challenge we're doing in January, it's really so much bigger than social media, and it's not just to like transform the way that the world sees you, but it's really meant to transform the way that you see you. And we have 16 amazing reflector women who have stepped into this space, and that's like obviously going to be the best part of the challenge. And it is what makes it such a safe space to speak your truth and experiment and play and be seen and to call in your dreams. And most importantly, like to have fun in the process. So that's your invitation for today. I'm going to drop it in the chat, the link in the chat, if you feel called to check it out. It's literally $28 for 6 live calls, a full moon cycle of traveling through all 64 human design gates as we create from our inconsistency using the gates as content prompts. So I just decided, yeah, I'm gonna share about this today and make a little invitation before we get started. And sort of decided to do something fun. So if you're on this call and you join the lunar signal today, you're going to get the 12-month lunar transit calendar included, which is awesome. So you can continue to track transits throughout the year for all 12 months, like without paying for an app. Which is going to be like such a valuable tool, and it's something that I use and check in on every single day. So that's exciting. So I'll stop talking. I know it's a little salesy of me to make this invitation. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. And with that, I'm going to introduce our first speaker. So, Miss Holly, who is a 5-1 reflector, 5-1s in the house. That projection field is real for real. She's a high priestess. She's a tattoo artist. She's a painter. She's a shadow work guide. She's an astrologer and just a multidimensional queen. And Holly's going to be sharing with us all about what this full moon in Gemini has for us as we close out 2025. So thank you so much, Holly, for being here and sharing your magic with us. The floor is all yours.
Rising, you guys. I hope everybody is feeling some sort of clarity or getting some sudden realizations. I wanted to start our forecast by talking about what house this illuminates so that we can really focus on that area of life before I even start getting into the context, right? Because it's like, where are we going to apply the message, right? So one, if you have any Gemini placements, I would definitely be mindful of what planet and what house that's in, all right? And then I'm going to go through the zodiac signs and their houses. I do not have no PowerPoint made for y'all, so we got to use our ears today. Gemini is in the first house. So this would be like your Gemini risings. That's what I meant. Gemini risings. This is all about your sense of self, your identity. So we're going to remember that. All right. Second house. This is going to be for your Aries risings. The second house is all about long-term wealth, money, currency, debts, and like possessions. All right. So remember that, you Aries risings. Pisces is the fourth house. The fourth house is all about, no, I skipped third house.
Sorry, I was like, Aries, we're third house Gemini.
You really are, because it's
no worries. Just because it pertains to me, of course. I was like, wait.
Thank you, because I just got off track. Like,
no, you're amazing. Keep going.
No, thank you. All right, so Taurus risings, that was the second house. My apologies. Second house is about your monies. Okay, now we're gonna stay on track. Taurus rising, second house, money, long-term wealth, possessions. Okay. Aries risings, third house, communication, intellect, learning. All right, taking in information. All right. And also like the community that you talk to, like your aunties, your cousins. We'll remember that. All right. Pisces is fourth house. This is going to be your home, like where you feel at home, stability. I like to even think like structure, like your little cave kind of vibe. All right. Our sanctuary. We got our Aquarius rising, going to be your fifth house of creation. All right. Dating, creating things. If you produce anything, even your kids, your babies, whatever you're bringing to life into the physical manifestation. Then we have Capricorns in our sixth house. This is Capricorn risings, sixth house. This is going to be routine, physical health. This is going to be like bodily awareness. So there we go. Little Cap risings. Our Sagittarius risings. I'm a Sag rising. This is in our seventh house of relationships, committed partnerships. So anybody that you feel tied to, or you feel like you have a connection with, or even like your coworkers. All right, lovely. Scorpio, this is going to be in your eighth house. This is going to be your it's taboo. It's shared resources. It's going to be like occult mysticism, even psychic flares. So and like just who you're sharing money with and investments. All right. Then we have Libras in the ninth house. Ninth house is all about philosophy, higher learning. I love the ninth house. It's like there's so much freedom and liberation here. So I would just think about like where your mindset is, and like even travel. Travel is really good. All right. Virgos, this is your 10th house. 10th house is career. Sorry, my kitties. Okay, can y'all not fight right here? Thank you so much. All right. Virgos, this is your 10th house. This is career. This is going to be how you make your money, how you're presented to the masses, the collective, how you're being seen. All right. Two more. We got our Leo risings. Leo risings, your community, a group of people you're associated with, your friends. All right. And then we have Cancers. Cancer risings. This is going to be your 12th house. This is the subconscious. This is the hidden. This is finding out that the things that you might not have been aware of will be coming to the front to show you how they're really playing a part in your life. All right. Now let's get into the juice. Okay. So now that we know what arena of life we're going to be talking about and, connecting this to, our Gemini full moon is oh, my apologies. Our Gemini full moon, our full moons are all about amplification, accumulation of a cycle. It's going to be shedding light on something. It's like our full peak, a climax point. All right. And then we're in Sagittarius. Our sun is in Sagittarius. So this is all about the collective. Sun energy is about collective. It's about like how we're putting our persona forward. All right. Being that these are polarities, they're sister signs. You're going to find that like, this is going to be like, they naturally oppose each other. Well, no, they naturally square each other. My apologies. They oppose each other. And this automatically creates a little bit of tension just because they're polarities. There's also some other planets, personal planets taking place here. So Venus is in Sag and so is Mars. So communication and our attractions are all kind of spicy right now. Okay. So really what we're talking about is Gemini, this intellectual sign in our emotions, the moon, is coming down and kind of showing us and illuminating a pattern that we've had, and it's an uncomfortable truth. All right. So this energy is bringing like your dreams are like in full force, trying to show you the subconscious pattern of where you are kind of restricting your own personal power. All right. Like, where am I holding these limiting beliefs, or where am I giving away my energy, like, and feeling like this is like things I had to do? We're kind of breaking patterns here, where this is a lot of throat chakra energy. Like Sagittarius is all about truth, and Gemini is all about speaking and bringing in the intellect behind. So Sagittarius, the archer, it's holding the weapon, right? It's pointing its bow. And then you have Gemini here, who's going to deliver the message. So this is all about uncomfortable truths being brought to the light. This is recognizing the pattern. And it might seem like you're intellectualizing a lot of emotions because it's like we're seeing the truth and how it's playing out in this area and how we have to let things go in order to basically step into this higher version of ourselves. It's this energy has just been super intense. And I don't know about the other reflector ladies, but I feel like when it comes to the full moon, it's like I get all of these dreams and downloads that prepare me for the full moon to show me this is where I need to let it go. This is what I'm supposed to be seeing and the lesson I'm supposed to be embodying. Um, what what I find just so interesting about this is when I keep saying uncomfortable truths, it feels like sleepless nights. It's like waking up, not being able to fully process this, feeling this so much in your body, in your chest, in your throat. Just like, it's like you can feel the blockage, the clog, you know? What I would take away from this, the shadow work that I would really say is just to focus on what patterns are coming up for you, where are you becoming your most self-aware, and why is this showing up, why do you keep doing these things, and is this serving you anymore? I love to throw a little ritual in there and some like alchemy. So if you have any candles or any like incense, like we love fire, we already love fire, and we love air to like combine this energy. So if you want to practice speaking your truth in the mirror and like hearing yourself, like if you have to keep hearing your truth over and over again and then practice saying it out loud, like this this is the energy of getting it out of your system. Like I don't have to keep doing this. I can give it away. I can give it back to the universe, right, to transmute this. So I would recommend like burning a blue candle, speaking your truth, like practice looking yourself in the mirror and kind of like being your own hype man. Like if you have to keep saying, I'm not going to do this, I don't like it, I don't want to, like just if you're angry, this is a sign that your body's trying to communicate with you. You're not aligned with this. Like you don't have to react in an angry way, but do be conscious. The energy is spicy right now. Mercury's in Scorpio right now, so like you're gonna be getting truths. There's gonna be a truther. And with all of the Sagittarius energy and Gemini energy, there's not really a lot of cushion to these words. We're gonna have to be just blunt. We're gonna have to just say the thing that's on our mind. So yes, that's what I got for you guys this forecast. And thank you for being patient with me through the ups and downs. I'm gonna get off the mic now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for Holly? Any like clarifying questions, anything that come up that you want to ask Holly? Yeah, you don't
I
have
have,
to go ahead, just yeah.
I have a quick question. Um, Holly, I always look at my rising sign too, but I'm curious if it's also worth like when you're going through each sign is if like the other signs are also relevant. Like my son is Virgo. When you talk about the Virgo 10th house and how it's related to our career this full moon, like is that relevant if it's my sun sign, or should you just focus really on your rising sign?
So what I like to look at is kind of the modality. So for mutable planets, because this is taking place between two mutable planets, two mutable signs, my apologies. We're going to look at all the mutable signs are going to be kind of impacted greatly about this too. So Virgo and Pisces and Gemini and Sagittarius placements, you're going to feel a heavy impact. Your sun sign is your identity. So yeah, I would definitely be looking at how that energy is tying in. There's something called planet correlation. So when you were saying that, immediately I'm brought to like Mercury and Gemini and Virgo are both ruled by Mercury. They co-rule it together. So I can definitely see like some planet coherence, like those energies kind of like tapping in. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Awesome. And Holly, please, I didn't tell you that I was going to tell you to do this, but maybe drop in the chat or come off of mute and tell us if you want your choice, how we can follow you, how we can continue to work with you. I know you do Astro readings and card readings, but yeah, how can we continue to work with you?
Well, I put my Instagram, my tattoo Instagram in the bio. If you were ever interested in like a virtual reading, I'd be totally open to that. So I do love my tattoo work. We make those very we have intuitive sessions. We can like do sorry. We can do a tarot reading or a Reiki session. I am Reiki certified with a tattoo session. I love to like integrate a little psychic, magical, transformative moment. You know, we're opening a portal. We're kind of doing a little bit of blood magic. So I try to make it a sacred space for us. Um, I am located in Virginia. So yeah, I'm in Virginia. So if any of you ladies find yourself in Virginia or want to make a trip to Virginia and have a really cool time with me in a little tattoo studio, I would love to see you. All right. Yes.
Yeah, if y'all haven't seen Holly's tattoo work, like it's actually insane. Like I'm in South Carolina, but like there will be a day where I get your art tattooed on my body. Maybe it'll be at a reflector retreat where Holly does intuitive tattoos. I don't know. Are we putting that out there in 2026? That would be
Please put that out there. Get us all in the same room. Game over.
And everybody can bring their little flavor if they want, like, and we can have energy healing and sound baths and breath work and artist. Like, we can do art, we can paint, we can do yoga, we can do photography sessions, Lacey. We can do all the things. That'd be so fun. So, yeah, putting that out there for 2026. Thank you so much, Holly. There's so much love for you in the chat. So, go read through all the chats. And we're going to welcome in our next speaker. So we have Christina. I'm really excited to hear from Christina. She's a 6'2" reflector, obviously. Thank you so much for coming, Kitty. We love you. Christina is a writer. She's a human design mentor. She's a cycle breaker. And Christina is going to be guiding us through a meditation and sharing the message that this month's lunar transits have for us. So thank you so much, Christina, and take it away.
Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to go through kind of what's been coming up and what it's basically going to be a different perspective of what Holly's saying. So we're just covering the whole world of it. And then I'm going to take us through a little meditation at the end because I want to get that information in and then let us kind of just receive it. And that said, when we go into the meditation, you don't need to intellectualize what I said because it's already happening. We know it is. I'm just naming what's going on. We all can do that. We are all capable of doing that. We all are doing that. So it's more about allowing us to recognize that's what's happening and receive it instead of letting all the other restriction of the energy that comes from other types and the rest of the world come in on us and blind us to that truth. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about most was, okay, so number one, we're in 2025. 2025 is a 9 year, right? So 9 is that completion. It is that, it's that spiritual awakening, spiritual alignment. And we've obviously seen that. And being reflectors, we've been getting shit on. A lot of us, I know we've been getting a lot of that projection field coming at us because that subconscious is coming up in all the other types. And they aren't used to facing it that thoroughly like we do. And so we automatically mirror that from the start. And now we're mirroring what the depths of it are. And they're like, oh, fuck this. I don't want to see you. So that's what's been coming up with everyone. The positive is we're shifting into 2026. 2026 is a 10-year. That's completion, but that's also perfection and divine order. So the major message here is we're stepping into, I like to think of that divine order message. It's really aligning into our authenticity in a deeper way because as reflectors, we're naturally more authentic. We naturally kind of live in that authentic space. But from here, it's stepping into that part of ourselves where we all have deep wounds, right? We all have those issues. And for reflectors, we struggle to allow ourselves to be versatile. We struggle to allow ourselves to truly sample and be different and chameleon and allow that to actually be meaningful. And also allow the truth that we have to be meaningful when it comes to the contradiction by logic from other places. The thing is logic is a perspective, and it's always going to be limited depending on where it's coming from and what it represents. At the whole of it, that's truth. And so there's always going to be truth in logic, but it's not logic is the whole truth. And so stepping forward, this is a super moon. And I want to point that out because as reflectors, we're kind of the moons, right? And a super moon is when that moon is closest to the earth. So it's closest to really illuminating what's underneath. And it's hard to avoid now. And so being the last full moon of the year, I think that's really dope. That's super cool because let's just kick it out there, step into a new year, step into a 10-year that way. The main thing I want to talk about is, I guess there's a bunch of things, but so we've been going through this year and I've been focusing on the North and South nodes this year. And we've gone through the North and South nodes where we've been facing conflict and turbulence, that emotional agitation inside of us, that emotional locking where we avoid allowing ourselves to be human. And we can see that in other people, especially the projection that's coming back at us right now. We kind of let that full humanity out. We cry in public. We say the blunt things. We do the silly things because we're living a human life, right? And so we've been facing that, and a lot of conflict has been coming at us in the process because we're trying to find that balance of how can we accept humanity in ourselves and others, and then how can we allow diplomacy and peace to come from that? How can we allow true intimacy to happen? So the North and South nodes passed through that at the beginning of the year. Then we moved into 22 and 47, and that was a lot about shifting into faith. It's a lot about shifting into optimism isn't quite the word I want right now, but it's that optimistic perspective that when we're brought in 47, we have a transmutational experience. There's an experience in front of us. We're burned by the fire. But when we trust in that grace of gate 22, we are being refined by that fire rather than burned by it. And so we had to face all those things. And when it comes to the North and South nodes, they alternate in and out of retrograde. So we're brought information and then we have to process it. We brought information, we have to process it and integrate it. And so we've been going through this wave. Then we shifted into what we are in now, which is 63 and 64. And 63 and 64 is that in those shadows, confusion and doubt. And this one, typically the North and South nodes shift every like 3 to 6 months. This one's like a month long, the 64, because I'm thinking the other types can't handle so much truth and illumination all at once. Think about us sitting in their presence. How much time can we actually spend with other types one-on-one? Like my past relationship, we were on top of each other. He couldn't breathe because he was suffocating in all the truth that I was handing to him. He couldn't handle it. And so this phase is shorter because it's going to kick some people's asses, including us, because we have to accept that truth that's within us. So from here, the coolest part is near the end of this month, we're going to shift into 37 and 40. And 37 and 40 are about like giving and receiving, but also protecting our own energy. So it's saying no to the right things. That's that gate 40 energy. And 37 is giving from the heart, but recognizing where there is an ability to receive. We're not over giving in that over sentimentality, but we're also not resisting giving because we're being cold, because we're having too many boundaries up. So it's finding that balance. That's going to be a next shift. And a cool separate personal note on that is in Gene Keys, my hologenetic profile, my pearl is 40. So my key to prosperity is that boundaries, but gate 40 is also deliverance. It's trusting that you can say no to the right things. You can say yes to the right things, and you will receive and be provided and be brought through in the right ways to the right places. Pearl's great, eh? I have so much to say, so I'm just trying to skim it because I know I can overtalk. A major thing that we're going through is the parts of ourselves where we've allowed ourselves to be held back. So as we step into this full moon, the sun and earth gates are activated in gates 5 and 35. So as we pass through this full moon, the moon's going to be in 35. And in 35, that gate is like miracle energy. So when you look at Gene Keys, gate 35 goes from hunger to adventure to boundlessness. And so the difference, we move from that shadow through adventure by recognizing we don't need to chase these things. We don't need to fill our cups because we are full. The step is allowing that fullness to offer outwards and enjoy the adventure of all of it. Enjoy that there's always something for us and we're always providing something outward. Where do I go from here? Gate 5, I will say, our sun gate is patience. But when I think about patience in that sense, it's actually about trust. It's actually about faith. Everything is always working out as it's meant to. Everything is going to pan out. When we're truly patient, we're trusting. Patience isn't this action that we're like, okay, I'm going to wait. Patience is I can wait because I know it's working out. And so this balance is really cool because as we step into the peak of the full moon, that the Earth will be sitting in that gate 35, but the moon will be sitting in that as well. So we'll have that tie where we're going to be grounding in that miracle energy. But building up to that full moon, we're going through gates 16 and gates 20 prior to, and right after, we'll be going into gate 45. Gate 16 and its gift is versatility, and its highest expression, it's mastery. So it's allowing ourselves to, especially as reflectors, we're chameleons. Our versatility it could be chaos to anyone else. But we can sample and we can move and we can do those different things. And I know a lot of us hold ourselves back. We try to lock ourselves in identities. And that was something I was struggling with for the past couple of years. It was trying to lock myself into one place. You know, I have my faith here. I have my offerings here. I have my family expression here. But the thing is, it's coming back to wholeness. Because we are whole. And that's that gate 36 really integrating, allowing ourselves to accept humanity in ourselves. And at the highest expression, compassion, both inwards and outwards. So we move from that gate 16, and in its shadow is indifference. It's either trying to lock into skills or it's falling away and going, I don't really know nothing really matters. So we're going to be challenged with that. And then we shifted to gate 20. And gate 20 is in the highest expression presence, and its gift, it's self-assurance. And so we're moving from that shadow. Gate 20 is a lot about our insecurities. Where do we lock ourselves up? Because the balance of that is the energy of force. How do we lock ourselves up so we can make things happen, so we can come across the right way, so we can achieve the right goals? But as reflectors, our alignment is surprise, right? It's about completely going with the flow and being open because we have nothing else. We only are open. So we move forward in this, and it allows us to come back into ourselves. So we're going to be challenged with these energies a little bit as we move through until we get to that gate 35. Then that gate 35, as we are pushed through those other ones, we're given the opportunity to accept the adventure. Because for us reflectors, I really think this supermoon is really powerful for us because we can accept that versatility, because we can accept that presence. The way I see it as reflectors, again, we have completely open centers, which means we are complete channels. We are pure channels of energy. And we've allowed ourselves where we've held ourselves back is allowing ourselves to be channels of energy we specifically choose because we think it's right. But are we choosing it from virtue, or are we choosing it from rightness that we've been told we need to operate in these ways? And so it's those really deep limiting beliefs that have prevented us from that prosperity, from that abundance, from flowing freely. Because as we step into gate 10, that's kind of like the fulfillment, right? That's the full abundance. That's the, 10 of cups, overpouring. So we're stepping into that energy. And as we move through the full moon peak, we go through that gate 35, and we're going to shift into gate 45 right after. Here's where it's kind of cool in my thoughts, because as we move into gate 45, we're now going to be challenged with that energy of synergy. How do we work together? And this full moon kind of challenges us, everyone, not just us, but everyone, in the sense of where do we contribute, and can we accept that contribution is innate, contribution is equal across the whole playing field. We are all contributing equally to the collective. We are all contributing a gift to the collective. And so from here, where can we work together and allow it to flow? Because prior to that, it was in dominance. That shadow of 45 is dominance. And that's where we kind of try and, my contribution's better, your contribution's better, in this imbalance. But we all contribute equally. And so we're coming together right before we step into 2026. And a little note, that 2027, change of the world thing that's coming, the way I think about it is the shift of wealth. We're shifting into that place. And so we need to be planting into our own contribution, not what we think we should be doing, not what society tells us we need to be doing, not all those basic little pieces of things that create compartments, because as reflectors, we can't compartmentalize. And when we do, we fall into a bit of psychosis, because now we have to hold addiction to hold those compartments. We have to hold a cycle in one place, and then we can't be our full selves. We feel like we're fragmented. And so this full moon's taking away those fragments. It's pushing us to really be empowered and kind of cleanse those vices and move into virtue. And that's not to say that virtue is anything specific, but it's operating from truth and love, because the core of truth is love. At the end of the day, no matter who wants to hear it, that's the core. What time we got? Okay. Let's see if I got one more little message here before I take you guys into my meditation here. It's a really empowering moon. Like, this is, I know we've all been feeling it. We've been feeling that projection field, and we've been feeling that rejection this year. But at the same time, that rejection is protection, because if no one else is going to love us, who else have we got but ourselves and God, source, whatever term you want to use. But who else do we have? And then we start to recognize our true power. A big key of this year that I've been receiving is that ginkgo tree, that resiliency. We are all capable, and we are all stronger than we think, but not through that energy of force, through that energy of flow and strength and majesty, through that energy of presence. And so this meditation, I'm going to kind of bring you into that presence and allow us to ground into that. I come from a perspective, I created this modality I call glow. And it's this energy healing, but the source of our glow, it's like our knowing center. It sits about here. And so we tend to get things confused when we try to use our discernment. We try to pull it from different places. And oftentimes we pull it from that limbic system in our brain. So it's more of that survival base. So it's a shift from what people call intuition, which tends to be more instinctual. It's looking from the past, it's looking from what we've learned, versus true intuition, where it's coming from what are we moving towards? What is the collective need? What is our core essence? And what is our contribution? Okay. So we're going to step into this meditation. I just realized I have music playing in the background, so I'm going to pause that. Okay. So I know I'm going to sound demanding right now, but I want you to close your eyes. Okay. If it's uncomfortable, that's okay. This is an opportunity to step into that presence and actually choose it. Actually decide, I'm going to be with this presence because I am powerful. I am worth it. I was created, so I have innate worth. Okay. So close your eyes and get yourself situated. And I want you to just sense that area that I mentioned, that area of the glow, right? Kind of in between your ribs, around your diaphragm. And notice how there's a warmth and a light there. We're going to allow that warmth and light to expand. Notice how it kind of fills the whole body and softens. And I want you to allow that presence to kind of drop into your hips, drop into your pelvis, drop into your perineum, drop into your lady bits, all those areas, and let it just settle. And recognize that you can be present. You can take a deep breath here. You don't have to run from anything. You are here. You were created. You are meant to be here. And so from here, we're going to take that awareness and we're going to bring it down to below our feet, where that earth star chakra sits, kind of in the earth. It's still connected to us, but it's external from our body. And so we're going to sense the center and we're going to allow it to expand. I like to say we're going to allow it to fill with God, fill with light, fill with source, whatever term works for you. But we're going to allow that to just expand. And as it expands, we can sense some energy flowing down and out to the earth. We're offering that to the earth. And a beautiful piece is we've been holding others' energy, which means we got to touch it with the love inside ourselves. And as it releases, we don't need to fix it. We don't need to do anything with it because it's already been touched with love. And so now we're going to send it back to the earth, send it back to its source. From here, bring your awareness back to that earth star, and we're expanding it in all directions because we don't want to just be performative, pushing the energy to the front. We don't want to just be collapsing into ourselves, pushing that energy to the back. And we don't want to contain ourselves by holding the energy on the sides. We want to allow it to expand all directions. And as it expands in all directions, it starts to rise up into our root center, up our legs, in our thighs, into our hips, in that root center around your perineum. between the two areas, the forbidden areas. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to let that energy expand in all directions. And that light is just expanding, and it's going to expand beyond our body. There is nothing holding it back. And I do want you to notice if you find any tension or any disbelief in yourself that's saying, I can't feel this energy expanding, it feels stuck. It is expanding. This is just bringing your awareness to where limitations have been repeating in yourself. So we continue to let this expand, and it's going to rise up, filling every part of our body, our muscles, our cells, and it's going to rise up to that sacral center around our belly button just below. We're going to do the same thing here. Let this expand in all directions. Front, back, sideways, every direction, a full vision of ourself and expanding beyond our body. From here, we're going to bring it up. We're going to use the human design chart. So we're going to bring it up to the splenic center and the solar plexus. I like to say kind of sitting around the kidneys-ish. So we're going to feel those each expand. Now that splenic center is our fear center, and that solar plexus is our emotional center. And we take on a lot. So we're going to let that expand. And we're going to let this expand in all directions beyond our body. And we can feel this glow really starting to emanate from our bodies. And as we feel this, it rises up to that motivation center, that ego center, that identity center, the will center. We're going to let it expand there, and that sits quite close to the glow. And we can notice here that this one might have a little more restriction because we take that glow and then we start to compartmentalize it. But today we're going to let it expand. We're going to let it be freely itself, and we're going to let ourselves be fully filled by what was always within us, what was always perfect, and what didn't need more or less. So we let this expand, and it starts to rise up to the heart now, that identity center in the chest, that G center. And we let that open up. And I want us to remember to allow that to open up backwards as well. Make sure that it's extending behind us, not just forward, not just sideways, but behind us as well. That identity is for us, not for everyone else. That is our contribution, but we aren't doing it for others. We are doing it for the collective. We are doing it for the whole, for unity, for God, source, universe. We continue to let this expand, and we can feel that softening through the chest, and it comes up to the throat. And as we come to the throat, it expands outwards in all directions. We can start to feel that jaw soften. We can feel our ears opening to receive and allow ourselves to truly listen to that guidance within us, that true guidance, and not let deafness come over us and other oppositionals or perspectives to come over. We're going to let it open. And as we do this, it moves up into the third eye, the ajna, and it settles for a moment here. It allows those old cycles to clear out. We take a moment to accept that those old cycles don't belong to us. There's something we've picked up to allow ourselves to move through life in a way we believe is successful. But we can let that go and allow that mind to open up even more in all directions, including backward. And then we bring it up to our crown. And as it comes up to our crown, we feel it expand in all directions. And we feel this, we can feel the emanation of a crown. It's almost like a physical crown of light. And that physical crown of light extends up to the soul star chakra, which rests just above our head, outside of our body. And it's going to come up to that center, and we're going to feel that expand in all directions. And as we do this, we feel the full emanation of the light within us expand beyond our body, touching the rooms we're in, the places we're in, the cities we're in. It expands in the ground around us. It expands in the air. It expands in the physical things, and it touches the people nearby. And it continues to expand because it flows through those people and things and expands even further. And as it expands, we can notice that it comes back around our body, almost like a shield of light. And it meets back at that earth star chakra below our feet. And from here, everything that wasn't ours just cleanses out of our feet, and we're left with this beautiful emanation of energy, this beautiful emanation of pure light source energy, of that goodness and love. And we allow ourselves to rest here for a moment. I want you to take a nice deep breath and allow a nice long exhale. And as you do, sense your feet, sense the grounding, that experience of energy in your feet. and allow yourself to slowly come back to your physical presence in your body, knowing that this light has expanded beyond you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How does everyone feel?
That was amazing. Thank you
I'm
so
so glad.
much. I've been fighting back tears.
That's like the gift of mine is I make people cry, and I'm always like, I'm so glad I got you to cry. It's a great day. But that's like, it's a daily meditation I like to do, and it's really powerful to remind ourselves who we truly are, because we do take on so much. And especially if we're in a go, go, go mode, we're around generators a lot, we can get lost in that, and we can start to compartmentalize our identity. And we forget that we are that pure source. We are a gift of presence, and that presence is the gift. It's not something more. It's not this physical thing that we give out. It's simply our presence. And that is the true core, and everything can flow from there. I think that's all I have to say.
I don't even think I have words for how powerful that was. I was crying, and oh my God, I've never, like, when you were just talking about the light like filling our body, I I felt it. I don't know what it felt like, and I found myself trying to like you said, sort of get cerebral and like be like, well, how am I going to do this? How, you know? And so I appreciate that like pre sort of thing you said of like, hey, you're gonna try, your mind is gonna try, you know? And when I would kind of like start to think, maybe that feeling in my body would kind of go away, but then I would like bring it back to the presence and I was tingly. Oh my God, that was crazy.
It's never not there. It's what our mind tells us. It's what we get so lost. A big, powerful thing of this year is shifting from living by the sight into living by faith, living by sight into living by spirit. So we're allowing ourselves to recognize that what we see, what our mind tells us, isn't necessarily the truth. And while we have a gift in that, this is going to expand that gift and really empower it, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much.
Christina, tell us how we can follow you, where we can connect, if there's any invitations you want to make into your world.
So I've been taking a break from doing all my stuff for a little while. I was going to a church and I got chastised pretty hard, and it brought me into the shame cycle, but it was necessary. It was part of the cycle of growth that I needed. So it was a big challenging thing, but I'm getting back into getting myself into it. I'm kind of making a plan of how I'm going to approach that. I typically do TikTok lives and stuff like that. So you can find me on TikTok as Christina the Reflector. I haven't posted in a little while, but that'll come back. But the main thing, you can follow me on Instagram. Christina already posted it. I have a business account, but I haven't been very active on it. So follow me on my personal account and we can go from there. But you can always email me. So my email is my little name on here, Conscious Alignment Collective, and it'll be at gmail.com. And I do have a plan I'm thinking about. So if anyone is interested, reach out to me. I'm thinking about opening up sessions where it's really just an open flow. It's that glow healing, but it's not necessarily anything specific. I'm not necessarily doing a physical healing or anything particular. It's about being open in the space. And I'm planning to open those up by donation for a little while. I typically charge about $75 an hour. But because I want to get back into myself and I want to come back to this from an approach of faith rather than trying to build an income, I want to be open to allowing those sessions by donation. So if anyone's interested, you can feel free to email me or message me on Instagram and we can chat about it. And if you have any questions, contact me in either of those ways. I'll comment my email. My name's spelt with a K.
Thank you so much. That was so powerful. Oh, and
Thanks.
I'm just gonna I can't wait to just carry that energy into 2026. I
I'm
would
so
love to have that meditation that I could do more often. I don't know if anybody else would love to have that meditation that Christina just led us through in their back pocket, but just throwing that out there, girl.
I'll get some things. I'll write some up and maybe make some audios and I'll post them somewhere for you guys.
Cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're moving on to our next speaker, who is Miss Clarity. Miss Clarity is a 4/6, Beam of Light. She is a somatic body worker and erotic educator, and Clarity's going to be leading us in an embodiment drop to sort of connect with our bodies and release what this full moon is asking us to surrender. So, kind of coming back to some of the stuff that Holly was talking about as we step into 2026. So, thank you so much, Clarity, for being here. It's such a gift, and just for taking the time to share this with us all. So, thank you so much, and the floor is yours.
Okay, amazing. I'm so excited to be here with you all today. Um, Christine, can you give me co-host power so I can share music? And will you let me know how much time I have?
Okay, I don't know if that did it.
Let's,
Let me know.
yeah, I-
It worked.
yeah, I have it.
Great. Yeah,
Okay.
take whatever time you need. You don't need to rush. If there's people that have to,
Oh my God.
they'll drop off and that's okay.
Okay.
So take all the time
That
you need.
my favorite words and like sitting here and I'm like in the fire of what this call has been. I'm like, okay, you know. Um, Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Clarity. Thank you for that introduction. I'm so excited to be here with you all. I'd love to just hear a little bit from you since we just got so much amazing information, what's moving in your system, in your body, in your mind right now. Um, Anything that you're seeing, anything that you're feeling. You can put it in the chat. Or if somebody wants to come up here and share just a little bit, maybe like a 2 minute share, I'm happy to do either way. Christine says butterflies and excitement. Yeah, my heart is racing. So much fire energy, so much light energy. Alexis says I'm feeling tired and calm. I'm also feeling a lot of slowness down in the lower parts of my core, really anchoring. Jess says lightness in the body, pressure in the head. Yeah, lots of pressure in the head. I'm feeling that too. And you can kind of just notice in your own system as people are sharing what they're feeling in their bodies. Yeah, how a lot of us actually probably have some things in sync. So Christine says pressure in the head. Yes. So if anybody else is feeling like pressure in their head, I want you to tell me about it. Major transmutation. Yeah. What does that feel like in your body? What does that feel like in your physical system? Pressure in the head, that's good. So we'll do probably some release in the crown. I feel that pressure in the head too. Big body catching up to the spirit and mind feels, yeah, yeah. I was so sore a few days ago. Head, neck, and middle back. Thank you, Iris. Head, neck, and middle back. Is there any like particular sensation or experience that you're having in your head, neck, and middle back? Head and neck. Yeah, yeah. So we got a lot of energy going up in the crown. Christine says tingles, need for stillness, mental fatigue. Yeah, Holly, I was feeling you. Holly popped off and it was like, but you better be coming back. You better be here. I don't know if she even saw that, but she popped right back on after. So either way, spirit got the instruction. Okay, tightness. Stress response, but cellular transfiguration and expansion rather than constriction. Okay, it's been a tough few weeks and my nervous system is shot. Okay, brilliant. Who else has had some challenging last couple of weeks? We are in the ending of the year of the snake, and discomfort has been the name of the game. Challenges with family. Holly's has had to be here for you. uh, Lady. Challenges with family. Iris says a lot. And holding my own energy. Yeah. Yes, I've had some challenges for sure. So just notice if your system is starting to slow down, where it's settling, how it's anchoring. Um, Digestion is really important, you guys. And so when we do a lot of mental work, um, it can be really, really useful to just take some time to dialogue with yourself, translate the experience that you are having now, letting your energy do what it needs to, taking some time. I knew that I wasn't just going to be able to pop right into something else. You know what I mean? Like, how much are we doing that in our lives? We create very little time for digestion and integration, containment and slowness. And the nervous system thrives in patterns of penetration and containment. So it's not about reducing the penetration, it's about finding a helpful balance between expansion and contraction, just like the lungs, expansion and contraction. The past few weeks have felt like a lot of tension and needed to be cried and stretched out. Yeah. So who's noticing from their last little bit of time if they're still feeling like a lot of stuckness, or if they've been feeling natural sequences um, of release that come in with the fullness and the allotness. My nervous system has been feeling really dysregulated the last week, feeling a lot of energy in my body, and I can't seem to help it discharge. Amazing. So we're feeling that fullness. Great. Collective 9. Okay, so I'm just kind of looking at some of your faces. So if anybody who's off camera right now wants to come on camera, it's really great to see you. Stay in your comfort zone, stay where it feels good. But being seen is an invitation that I have for you in the discomfort, because we're right there in the discomfort. Conscious alignment, creative. What was your name? Will you remind me? I think it started with the K or a
I'm
C.
just
I
gonna,
saw
yeah,
that.
it's Christina. It's
It's
faster than
Christina. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So Christina brought in this like incredible fucking light energy and incredible presence. And so I just really want to sit with that and hold that in all of our systems, because that's still here. And so when big things happen, when our system really starts to shine bright and get really filled up, really full, it can be easy to want um, to well, you might notice a couple of things. So your system might actually have a nervous system response, right? Your actual physical body might not have the capacity to stay present with that much sensation, right? And it's not that you don't have the capacity to stay present with that much sensation, but you have to work with your smallest parts. And so, if it wasn't safe to have that much sensation when you were young or little or a teenager, or wherever that feeling of unsafety, which is literally just like the inability to stay present with the current sensation, right? Let that hit you. Safety isn't about a lack of threat. It's about your ability to stay present with the current sensation. And so the body is a really fucking incredible, amazing tool when you're able to slow down and work with it at its edges. Especially when you become an adult, you get to start to repattern and reprogram where you were at as a child and your child's edges, because that's the nervous system that grew you into the being that you are today. And so your mind has the capacity for so fucking much. Oh my God, it's amazing. Spirit has the capacity for so fucking much. So I would imagine a lot of you guys are pretty magical here. So if you have a really good connection with spirit, you got access to a lot of information. Holly, I'm feeling you in your fullness. Like I felt that too. Like my system was like wide open. I'm like, this is too much fire for me. I was like sitting there and I was like, oh my God, like my heart is racing. Like I'm supposed to be grounding. I need to get on and I need to be on this call. Like I need to, be able to pull people back into their bodies. And my body right now is just like, you know what I mean? And so, and everybody's going to feel different based off of like their elemental build, which like I love this community because everybody's so focused on their elemental build, right? Human design is a certain awareness for what's going on in the transits of your body and the elements at play. And so who knows if they have like a lot of fire in their chart? You can just raise your hand. I'm looking at most of you. Yeah, I know I have a decent amount of fire in my chart. Yeah. Christina, how much fire do you have in your chart? I was curious. So who knows if, yeah,
I think I'm more water, to be honest.
you're a lot of water.
I
Okay.
think so, yeah.
Okay. I'm a lot of water too. So who's a lot of water? or just some water. I guess we'll just get some elements. So we've got a little bit of fire. We got a lot of water. I'm a lot of water. I'm a lot of fire and water. Okay, and what about earth? Alexis, I see you in the earth. Yeah, it's good for me to see your guys' faces. Holly's like, nope. Okay, and then we've got air. Who's my air babies? Yeah, we're in air season. A little bit of air. Yeah, you can give me little medium signs. Okay, so a little bit of air. Christine's like lots of air. Yeah. Okay. So the elements work together, especially like Christina, you're working a lot with the light, right? Like light energy. And light energy is like bright and hot and fiery. And Hollywood's working a lot with the throat. And so we're kind of going to just sit with this energy that's blending between the two, the throat. And it seems like a lot of that energy got up into the crown for us. Who notice if, as I've been talking, that energy is kind of distilled down, or if you're still feeling the tension, I'd love to hear. I'm feeling more heat in the front of my head and less tension now. My body is still shaking a little bit. Good adrenaline rush, right? Good expansion capacity. So my nervous system is anchoring and rooting. Cool. So I'm sort of just feeling right now, seeing where we go. So eventually what we're going to do is I'm going to play some music and we're going to move through some postures and some movement. And we're just going to feel and we're going to breathe. We just called in a lot of energy. So I'm like, right now I'm calculating, do I want to play a lot with calling in? Do I want to play a lot with releasing? Who feels really excited about letting go of things right now? You've got 1 hand, 2 hand, 3 hands, 4 hands, 5 hands, 6-ish. Okay. And who feels really excited about playing with the sensation of expansion? 2, 3. So, who has some specific things that they're really wanting to expand into and anchor into their expansion of in this next new year and within this last month of December? You can put it in the chat. You can come off mute.
I know this is like both, but I feel like it's kind of happening simultaneously in a way. Like there's a lot that it's like stepping into this new doorway and like leaving certain things behind with gratitude and like love for that version of myself that got me through like so much, but being able to be like, I love you and like you don't need to be behind the wheel anymore.
Completion circuit. Really finding your end and your grief and your goodbye and your gratitude and your acceptance and the strength of how it's gotten you here. Expanding into the fullness of who I am without constraints. Seeing my energy as sacred, not bend for others because I can. Yeah. And seeing that I don't owe anyone anything just because it would be nice and they want it. Preach. Kind of like Christine's journey this year, my nervous system finally feels safe to expand, be seen, and step into visibility and action and leadership. Burn the final karmic layer of people pleasing and performance unless there's more to burn later, always. Lacey, always. I'm really proud for this really big burn that you did, though. I hope that you're feeling that freedom in your system. Okay. I love you. I love that you said and not but. Yeah. So we're just going to kind of be with this pattern of expansion and contraction and notice how it exists in our worlds, right? It's like expansion and contraction. It exists within the body. It's like literally like the fundamental layer of life itself, expansion and contraction, expansion and contraction. No matter where you're at in your life, you're going to be going through phases of expansion and contraction. And so we're just going to kind of play with this in our bodies for a little bit. And I want you to feel yourself in your most expanded state. So if that means physically you want to get big, that's great. If it means you want to close your eyes and feel your energetic body get really big, that's amazing too. If it means you want to breathe, if it means you want to scream, if it means you want to shake, if it means you want to stomp, if it means you want to kind of like let your fuck energy go down into the earth, that's fine too. Whatever your bigness feels like. For me, my bigness is kind of more of that like fuck energy down into the earth right now because that's what I need. I'm like, yeah, fucking get in there, you know? So feel that expansion in your body and maybe breathe into it. Maybe notice if there's parts of you that start to feel shy. Maybe being seen in your bigness or maybe seeing other people in their bigness. Letting yourself breathe, being with whatever your bigness feels like. Yeah, our bigness is not always happy. Sometimes when we're in our bigness, we're fucking pissed. We're angry as fuck, right? Anger is pretty fucking big. So just notice that that's a part of that too, right? How little we give ourselves permission to be big and angry and also contained. Not taking it out on anyone, not taking it out on each other, not in states of blame, but states of genuine curiosity and frustration, fear and anger in our bigness. You can also feel grief in bigness. That frustration and anger bit has really been coming up. We're in a lot of discomfort collectively right now. We're burning down a lot. And as women, it can be really fucking easy to numb and mute out our anger because we do not have the skill to properly, appropriately channel our anger. And we don't want to hurt other people and we don't want to hurt ourselves. And so I definitely know that this has been a huge thing coming up for me. This last like chunk of discomfort is like feeling all the fucking anger and getting so fucking angry in my relationships where I'm in relationships with women that don't feel their fucking anger. And I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. I know you're pissed off because I'm fucking pissed off. And feminine is very resonant being, which usually if one being is feeling a way, the other being is feeling some type of way too. And it's not from a field of meshing, but actually from an understanding of the interdependent system that we exist in, which is co-creation and connection. Your flavor of anger or activation will probably feel different from my flavor of anger and activation. But usually if there's activation in one body, there's either activation in the other body or some sort of experience of that lived experience, whether that's numbness, mutedness, tolerance, pleasure, right? Like when somebody's angry, you can go into bliss body, you know, depends on what your system is. Like, my cat just came in and he's a little masculine demon and I'm feeling like a little pissed off at him because now the door's open. And I know he did that on fucking purpose. He's such a little dom daddy and he's a beast. He's like, I'm gonna come fuck with all of your shit now. Goodbye. So it can be easy to feel the synchronicity of the earth and separate from it. Right? Be like, oh, that was a disconnected event. In some ways, yes, and in other ways, no. Sovereignty is really important. We are sovereign beings. Feminine rage came really online for me starting in September. So the thing about rage is it's unsustainable. Connected to rage is our wombs and our pussies and our hearts. where we're often disconnecting at the core is from our pussies and our pleasure. And that creates, hi, Caitlin, I see you coming on. Thank you. Good to see your face. It can be really easy to disconnect from the pleasure and the resource that we're experiencing on a regular basis because it's not societally accepted or approved of. So it's not that you're not experiencing pleasure. Even if your coping mechanisms is to disassociate and not experience that pleasure, it's not because it doesn't already exist in your life. And so if you're somebody that knows you experience a lot of pleasure and you've done the work and you're sitting in a body where you're like, I feel pretty fucking good on a regular basis. I have good, you know, good good existential awareness of my erotic body, amazing. If you're somebody that's like, yeah, I have that, but I like don't really tell anybody about it because it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. You can notice that too. I'm like feeling that not rightness. That can create a lot of tension. Like the feminine part of you is fucking feeling and experiencing the world, and the other side of you is like, oh, it's just not right. So I kind of have to taper it or control it, suppress it, restrict it, only bring it out in certain ways. And then when it comes out in other ways, like me blowing up at my fucking partner because they're an asshole, then at least it's just between me and one other person, right? So that sense of privacy, that sense of privacy can be really harmful because it's constantly casting a shadow. So that when you get in relationship with other and you're only experiencing that anger and approving of that anger in one condition or a limited condition, it makes it impossible to be in right relation as it's existing in your system in real time. So this can actually keep you from being able to protect yourself appropriately, balance your relationships appropriately, take advantage of the world around you appropriately. Move through a present moment experience appropriately. Gauge your nervous system's capacity to stay present in the moment and create safety for yourself, right? Christina, I'm sorry that I'm picking on you so much, but like my nervous system was really activated. And so like I'm using this as an example in real time because that's what my body is moving through. And so what an appropriate response for me and my system was like sometimes I had to turn the volume off because I knew that I needed to be having a certain amount of regulation to come in here. I was also accepting the invitation of activation and discomfort. And so I was riding my own waves of that and noticing where my system needed to move, to shake, to go to the bathroom, to stretch, to breathe, to pee, to feel the discomfort, to receive the offering. I felt my body going through the stages and moving through the things. But if I had been the person I was like 5 years ago and in like rigid control of myself all the time, then I would have just been like staying still and holding it like a meditation and not letting my body move and do what I needed to discharge the level of energy that was ready to come through for me today. And that's just the being I am and the capacity that I am carrying in this exact moment. And my biggest promise to myself that started my journey of getting here today was to stay present in as many moments as humanly possible in this lifetime. Because I know that no matter what, this lifetime is a gift. And I don't want to leave this body for a second. Which means being with all of the fucking terrible, uncomfortable things. So I'm going to play a little bit of music and we're just going to move our bodies a little bit. I'm conscious of time. That ended up being more talking, but I think we needed to do some collective digestion. And moving kind of in the direction of my frequency. So here we are. If you are in a space where you are able to move, If you're in a car, that's fine too. You can kind of just find your movement, find your resonance, let your system move and receive as it needs to. If you're in an office, if you're on a couch, you can totally move your body on a couch. That's great. If you have the capacity to create a little bit more space for you, I'd love for you to have access to the ground. I feel the release of the rage coming in. High activation sometimes means like we have to let it flow through our body and not get attached, right? So like when it hits the crown and our heads are buzzing, it can be really easy to be like, oh. So how do we learn to just go, wow, that's just another part of the wave, right? And like, let's see if that's necessary to say. That's another part of the wave, is that wave of aliveness comes up. And when that aliveness moves through your body, it can hit different blocks. And so that aliveness from that wave is a gift. And I'm going to kind of just play with releasing some different blocks that I'm feeling in the field. And noticing, just as we've been having conversation, what you guys have shared with me in the chat, we're going to do some releasing, and then we'll see if we're going to call anything in. I'm not really quite certain on that. I think it's going to be more about expansion than specifically calling anything in. But when we let go of energy, that naturally creates more space. What does more space lead to? More coming in. So we see the constant ebb and flow. But if you're like me right now, you might just need a little bit of time with that emptiness before filling it back up. So I think that might be the gift that I leave you with today, is like the emptiness. And then you guys can decide what you fill it with the cautionary tale that you can always fill that up with anger and big experiences that aren't the most exciting. So you get to have your selective discernment around how you want to receive the world around you and how you want to move your body and your edges and your awareness. Christine, will you give me just a little bit of a time check to tell me like if there's any hard window?
Yeah, how much time do you?
I'm feeling like maybe 3 songs, but sometimes the songs are a bit longer, so I just want to make sure that I'm appropriately moderating.
Yeah, that sounds good. I also want to I know it's like Jess is our last speaker, and it can be really difficult to go last, right? And we're a little bit over time. So yeah, just be conscious for Jess.
That's great. I only thought we had 3 speakers, so I didn't know. Will you Let's do a little bit of movement and then we'll drop. Do we genuinely have that time, Christine?
Yeah, I'm literally just thinking of Jess right now. So Jess, I know it's kind of late where you are. Are you on a little bit of a time crunch?
No, I'm okay, and I will keep my little section short and sweet. So I'm feeling Clarity's frequency that she's on. I'm happy to go with her.
Okay. 3 is the number that I'm feeling. So let's go with 3 and trust that it's flowing how it needs to. Thank you, Jess, for holding that space and moving with the flow. Okay. So let your body just sort of settle where it's at, opening up your senses.
I wanna drink your water.
Maybe breathing.
Tap from the Caribbean. Forbidden fruits in season.
Feeling that expansion in your body.
You know I am cheating, but I can't feel
feeling the bigness of your capacity.
So I wanna drink your water.
Everything that's coming in.
I want your water.
So feeling that bigness, feeling whatever it brings up for you.
You're somebody's daughter.
Like right now for me, taking up this space, knowing that Jess is waiting is a big expansion for me in my nervous system. So I'm just feeling the discomfort of that and the field, naming it. Feminine beings really feel it all. So just invite in and receive.
And who runs for the mountains when the rock is a tall ass building. And every time you see it, you think that you're
I'm loving seeing the
so
natural
you felt
movement.
no guilt when we fucked on the dock in Brooklyn, acting like children. You said you only live once. You also said you love your boyfriend, but that shit's not important. It never is when you're 22 and your parents pay your rent. That'll skew your worldview like cosmic rays from microwaves and tannin salons. I think you're fake blind. I think you're kid. Think you're something about it. Wait, the night's getting wobbly. It's 7 in the morning, and I should leave you probably, but everything else is boring. I wanna drink your water.
So we're gonna start to feel some of that rage that comes up, and we're gonna practice flowing with a little bit of containment, which is experiencing your rage and trusting that that is the experience that you are meant to have. It's not about anything or anyone else. It's carrying information for you about your edges. Where are you moving when you are meant to sit still? Let your body breathe. There's nowhere to go.
But I can't feel guilty in the Mojave, so I wanna drink your water. I want your water.
Where in your life are you denying the pleasure of your aliveness? Raw in the discomfort, raw in that one spot that just really does not feel as good as you'd like it to. Raw in the frustration, raw in the grief, raw in the wanting to be literally anywhere fucking else but right here. And let your body just soften. We're gonna spend some time moving into the contraction. And moving into the contraction in a way that allows for the grit and the self-judgment and the fear and the self-hatred and the collapse without losing the pleasure and the placement. So let your body just start to explore with your collapse. When you're alone and nobody's there, you're afraid and wondering, will you make it out? Is it always going to be like this? Your heart's barely beating, and you just want to disappear. Don't forget to find the beauty. Your slowly beating heart, the frustration, the guilt, always says that you are only ever as big as your contraction. That small part of you always has to come with you. That small part of you is never going to disappear, no matter how many dreams you have laying out in front of you. We're going to listen to one more song. And if you haven't yet, let yourself go into what it actually feels like to curl up into a ball and be on the floor in complete surrender with no control. I invite you into that space to feel your powerlessness and everything that comes up in your system when you feel powerless. And not the kind of powerless that's filled with faith, the kind of powerlessness that's filled with angst and black darkness, not being able to see beyond your breath. Let yourself curl up. Let your heart ache. Let yourself be seen in the smallest, tiniest, darkest part of yourself. The bitchiest, fucking cruelest part of you. She exists within every single one of us. She is not afraid. She is the beast that breathes inside of you when nothing else does.
An awesome wave. Brush skin and widens.
She is the one that curses the sky when she is hungry and can't find food.
Breathe in. Exhale. I've hoped enough you'll slap me like a whale.
She is one that feels the
Slaps the
fire
sea.
as it burns her skin. Lashes out. She is the baby that just needs to be held.
Side in.
She is the tear that sits right behind your eye, never ready to escape.
Blood to the heart.
She's got places to be.
Slipstream. Breathe in. Exhale. I've hoped enough you'll slap me like a wave.
She's the one holding you there just long
Slaps the
enough so
sea.
that you can let go.
M-O-N.
So feeling your emptiness, feeling your hunger, your appetite, the cruelest, hardest, darkest parts of you that exist, your edges, your empathy. And staying in this state of awareness without turning on your personality, I want you to just look at each other. Notice if a facade comes up of wanting to interact, wanting to go into your humanity right now. Just stay for a second fully in your spine and attached to kindness or flattery. And just observe, notice, see. feeling your emptiness, your capacity for more, seeing each other in their emptiness, their capacity for more. Take one last deep breath and to pass it over to Jess. I'll put my Instagram in the chat and we can connect more there if anybody wants to explore more of this. Thanks for giving me so much time, Jess.
Thank you so much. That was so powerful. Clarity, if you could also put in the chat, if you'd like, some ways that we can work with you. I'm like, I need some more of that in my life, whatever that was. And I also just want to celebrate everybody for participating and for allowing everyone to see you in that like rawness and vulnerability. So thank you so much. All right. We're going to welcome Jess up. And I just want to acknowledge also, like, I was like, Jess has to close us out. If you've never met Jess before, just her voice and her energy, it's like, it's just like this like magical like forest fairy. That's like how I would describe it. Jess is a 4/6. She's an astrologer. She's a transformational healer. She's a neuro coach, an MBIT coach. And Jess is going to be guiding us to connect with our heart centers. And I really can't think of any better way to send us off, as we step into the fuller versions of ourselves for the new year. So what a perfect way to close out this meeting. And thank you so much, Jess. I have been the last speaker before. It can be really hard to like stay present and also know like my time is coming to contribute and be seen. So maybe this was like a really great challenge for you, to stay present and like experience what everybody has. Take your time. You do not need to rush. We are all here, and I'm so excited to get to just be in your energy. So thank you so much for being on. I know it's late where you are, so thank you so much, Jess.
Thanks, Christine. And it's my first time being in a full moon circle, so it's so nice to see so many unfamiliar faces as well as some familiar faces. But it just so happens like this one was actually relatively easier for me to make my time zone. And I also just want to really thank Clarity. Like that was very powerful, sobbing on the floor. And I personally really needed that, yeah, it was a lot. And I think a lot of us felt all that. But I also want to say, Christine, I think the sequence of the speakers was perfect. I mean, this all happens in divine perfection, but I think you also played a role in that because it just seems eerily very perfect. So I really just want to start with a story. So a little while ago, I found this little baby mouse bird, basically like on my doorstep. I have dogs, a cat. The fact that it was just there in this tiny little precious form, was already quite surprising that I was the first person or first being to find it. And I took it in and I cared for it for a week, feeding it every like 45 minutes, an hour. I'm not even a bird person. I literally just said to somebody, I'm not really a bird person. He's got a bird and I'm like trying to connect with this bird. I'm like, you're cute. Like I see something there, but I've never really, I've interacted with so many animals, not really birds. Then this little mouse bird like lands on my doorstep. And I was enamored by this little guy. Like I loved it and I tended to it and I cared for it and I worried about it. And I woke up at 5 o'clock every morning to give it its first feeding. And then 2 days ago, it passed away. I checked on him and he was gone, and it broke my heart. I felt devastated, and that first sense of devastation was like, what have I done wrong? What did I do wrong? Like, how could this happen? It must have been me. Like, I've made a mistake, and my brain is tracking through all the things I could have or should have or wanted to do, or my inexperience with birds, or should I have taken it to someone else? And I was wrapped up in a very deeply personal, deeply injured sense of identity. Like, what does this mean for me as a healer, as a nurturer? What does this say about my capacity to mother? And there were so many stories going on, and there was a big move to just disconnect, to just, it felt like a lot. It felt overwhelming. And I had a session with someone maybe 2 hours later. I had already buried the bird and said goodbye, but I felt very disconnected. And as I'm in the session with this person and I tell them about this bird, tears just come streaming down my face, and I realize, like, oh, there's so much sadness. Like, there's so much. So even now I speak about it, it's not just about the bird. There's so much sadness and suffering in the world, and it gets so much, and it gets a lot for us to feel. And personally, I've been in a period of withdrawal. I feel like the world is a lot. I just want to be a little hermit on a mountain, and be in my peace, and be in nature, and be in a sense of like flow and just timelessness. And I've basically been able to do that. But this little bird just brought me all the way back into the world, all the way back into my feelings. And as I was guiding this meditation for this client, we got to the heart. And when I got there, like, the message for me, and I'm guiding for someone else, but I can't help but guide myself there. And before I even had the question to ask her, the message from my heart already came up. And the message was, feel it all. Feel it all. And a layer deeper was a sense of, as powerful and beautiful as it is for our heart's capacity to feel love and gratitude and kindness and all these beautiful experiences, we can always come back to that. And I've had so many beautiful experiences of really sometimes, speaking to our clarity said, almost blowing my circuitry this year. Like, I hit my edges and I bulldoze past them in absolute like bliss and euphoria and gratitude. And I'm like, yes, 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 this is what I want. I want more of this. I'm very aware of the darker emotions, of the darkness. But for a long time, it's just felt like, wow, I can really transmute anything, like almost just like that. I'll just transmute it. And the message was really like, we can transmute it, but we can't always just transmute it. We need to sit in the feelings. We need to sit in the collective grief and the collective suffering. And in the story, like, making it about me, my experience with this death was suddenly to turn it on myself and make it personal. And what does this mean to me? And I realized, like, we can't keep making it about ourselves. And this is nothing new, but maybe it's just a reminder that grief and sadness and suffering is so impersonal. It's so impersonal. And so is love. Love is so impersonal, and that's really the beauty of it. And we need to tend to the emotions of suffering without making it personal. We can, and then realize it's not. Otherwise, we become attached to it. We become tethered to these emotions. And once we become tethered to it, it takes us a lot longer to untether ourselves. It takes us a lot longer to release or let go, because it becomes a part of us. It becomes our identities, and we're always constructing these identities. And we need to honor the feeling by feeling it fully and then letting. So that message for me of feeling it all and clarity like that broke me wide open, because even I didn't really prepare for today, except I thought about this story and thought about what what it's meant to me. And like I know the heart's capacity to compromise absolutely anything, take any experience, any emotion, any feeling, and it can alchemize it. But we can't just get to the end. We have to feel it. And that process of feeling, and us as reflectors, it's constant. It's the waves and the tide and the moon cycles over and over and over and over and over, and it doesn't stop. And when it's good, like it's good. And when we're moving with the flow, it's good. And then when we hit a little bit of an obstacle or a roadblock, or it's a bit much, I want to take a break, I want to step back, which is the period I've been, almost all that feeling starts to dissipate. And there's a comfort in the numbness. There's a comfort in disconnecting. There's a comfort in not feeling for so long, until it just becomes numbness, until we can't even feel connected to the self or the others around us, to nature. It's like looking at the world in the black and white glasses rather than in Technicolor. And I feel like this has been my life this week. I'm frustrated and I'm annoyed with everyone, because I don't want to connect, because I've been stopping myself from connecting to my heart. So I think like that's really what I wanted to bring into this space today is, I mean, we've woven in so beautifully with what everybody has said. And I feel like there's a resonance with what everybody has said. But I think what I'm bringing is just this reminder that love is an intelligence. Love is an intelligence that we constantly need to drop into again and again. And it means dropping out of the head. It means sometimes that perceived safety that exists in the head, that if I just keep following the loops or following the trains of thoughts, I'm eventually going to get to the answer. I'm eventually going to feel better. I'm eventually going to feel safe. That things are going to make sense, because the brain loves to make sense. And then when I think of this little bird, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And I can follow every loop and every trail and everything that I might have done differently. And it feels uncomfortable. It feels like that is not the right place to be with that. And I think when we live in a world where we're in our heads so much, we actually need to very consciously decide to drop, to take. It's a leap of faith. I feel sometimes when I drop into my heart, it's a leap of faith. It doesn't always feel like the safest place, because it's not, because in the heart we carry such heavy emotions, because sometimes it's not the nicest place to be in, to exist in, but we can only avoid it for so long. And just like what clarity led us through, even in that pain, even in that collapse, even in the darkness, there is pleasure, there is enjoyment, there is a sense of like, okay, I'm here. I'm here. I don't have to fight this anymore. And I think the more we allow ourselves to drop into that intelligence, drop into the heart and experience love as a state of consciousness rather than an emotion. It's greater than just an emotion. I think there is a limit to pain and suffering. I've hit a lot of limits that I thought were bottomless, and then I get to the end and I realize, oh, it's always finite. My pain and suffering is always finite. And I've tried to find that same limit with love, and I am yet to find that. I haven't found that to be true. So my hypothesis is that there is no limit to love, that we can expand and expand and expand, probably into levels that maybe humanity or consciousness has never even experienced before, because there just seems to be no cap. And I don't know if there's anything else I want to say. But I like the word that's coming to me is aliveness. Like, the heart wants to be alive. It wants to be alive through all of it. And I have so much compassion for the parts of myself that want to numb. I have so much compassion for the parts of other people and humanity in general that wants to dissociate and go unconscious. I've had this experience of meeting a lot of my dissociative parts, and to me it feels like narcolepsy of consciousness. Like, every time you get too close to a place, I'm like, and I'm like, no, how do I stay awake here? It's like those dreams where you're trying to open your eyes and you can't, and I'm like, it's so hard to stay conscious where we go unconscious. And the best way I know how to stay conscious is to come back to the heart. Like, this space in our chest, physically and energetically, while the entire body is an intelligent system, the entire body is wisdom, offers so much. For me, when I bring anything back to the heart, it's so much, I want to say, clearer. It's so much more, the sense of knowing and being that comes from my heart outweighs anything else. So I always say, people who work with me, you lead with the heart. Bring everything on board, but you lead with the heart. And if we are using compassion as our compass, if we're using love as a navigational tool, you can't go wrong, even in the darkness. So I think that's all I want to say on that. And I'm going to lead us through a little meditation just to end in the heart. We've been everywhere. I feel like everywhere. So maybe we just land in the heart at the end of this call. So I'm going to ask you and invite you all to close your eyes one last time on this call. And just breathe gently and fully into your heart space. Maybe with a hand on your heart, you can feel the beating of your heart. I feel mine beating very strongly. And just notice what sensation or thoughts arise from feeling your own heartbeat. What does that elicit? What does that awaken inside of you? And as you breathe into this heart space, I want you to breathe in softness. What does it mean to breathe in softness? To draw your attention into your own stewardness of this world, your own stewardness of your vessel, that you're in this body and can lead this body in a beautiful world full of miracles, full of love. And find that gratitude just to be alive and awake and being and breathing at this point of time. That you're so needed exactly how you are to be here, to be this person for the world. And what an honor and a privilege it is that we get to be here and feel the way that we feel and exist the way that we exist. And being exactly who we are without even trying is what the world needs. And I want you to pour this gratitude into your own heart, this beautiful, beautiful heart that is able to carry so much, that is able to alchemize so much, that is able to generate so much love and compassion and kindness in the world, that you have the capacity to generate so much love and compassion and kindness in this world. And just feel what this does. Notice what the sensation is like in your chest. Notice what it wants to do, if it wants to expand, if it wants to tingle, if it wants to vibrate, if it feels warm. And just let it be that, but more. Let it be exactly what it wants to be in its own capacity, without limits, without restraint. And I want you now to just gently scan the rest of your body. And there might be places and sensations that are loud, that are obvious, that you feel movement, that you feel sensation. But I want you to go seeking on a little bit of an exploratory mission into the places that maybe you feel very subtly. Maybe there's numbness. Maybe there's a lack of sensation. Maybe there's just a lack of awareness. Maybe it's in your extremities, the fingers or the elbows. And just trust it, even if it doesn't make sense, even if you can't really tell if you're feeling or not feeling. Just trust that your body knows what's maybe feeling a little bit numb. And with that beautiful, powerful capacity of your heart to heal and send love, I want you to visualize and imagine whatever feels right. If it's rays of light, if it's liquid, if it's a energetic buzzing, if it's a river, if it's a waterfall, send your heart's love and compassion to this area, into this space, without needing anything from it, without needing anything to be changed, just offering it freely in whatever way feels right and good for you. And just witness and notice even the subtlest of changes. Become aware to the nuance. And if it feels right and if it feels good, ask this little space, this place, this numbness. Ask if there's an opportunity for movement. Does it want to move? Does it want to awaken? And if there's a yes, and only if there's a yes, invite that space, that sensation, to move in whatever way feels good and comfortable into the heart. That there is a channel that is welcomed and welcoming directly into your heart. and welcome it back into your heart if it wants to join you, if it wants to be there. And lovingly welcome it back home. Savor its presence. Witness its meeting. Love it for whatever it is. And while you're here, ask it if it has a message for you. Without chasing, without needing it to come, but neutrally and lovingly ask if there's a message here. And let it come to you in a shape or an image, words, sound, feeling, however it wants to be received by you. Receive it just as it is. And when it feels good for you, offer your heart so much gratitude for being able to do what it does, for being so strong and powerful, for always being there for you to connect to, for being so receptive to the world, being so ready to take on all and every feeling. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and come back into the room. And thank you everyone who stayed right until the end. It was a long one, and I appreciate your presence throughout the whole thing. Thank you.
Jess, where can we follow you? How can we work with you?
I will drop my Instagram below, and you can find everything on Instagram.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I knew that this was going to be like a really powerful call, but I really had like no idea how powerful and how like I don't have the words for it yet. But I'm walking away today changed. And I'm so grateful, like the gratitude and the love that's in my heart for all of you, for every single person on this call and in this community. And it's just like, I'll let you know when I find the words for it. But I don't want to force anything. I just kind of want to stay here in this, like, in this feeling. I don't want to like rationalize it yet. So thank you all so much. Like, I'm just excited. I'm so excited to carry this with me and to close out this year and bring it into the next year and for us to continue to collaborate and to see each other and to support each other and just be there for each other. So I don't want to overtalk it. I would just want to leave us with this feeling. So thank you so much for being here. My inbox is always open. If if you're anything like me, there's going to be maybe some thoughts and feelings that come up throughout the day and throughout the weeks and throughout the month. So um, you're always supported and always loved in this community. And please feel free to share it in the group, to reach out to any of the women who shared today. I'm sure that their inboxes are open. Thank you so much for being so vulnerable and like it just was such a gift. Like I just can't even believe like that this was today and that we all got to like witness it and just receive these gifts from these women. So thank you so much. I love you all. You are all so loved by God and the universe and source and your guides. And the reflector revolution is here, baby. Let's fucking go. I love y'all. And I'll see you if you're on the lunar signal group, I'll see you on the 29th of December of this month. I'll see you in Telegram, of course. And if not, then we'll see you next year. Love y'all. Thank you again.